Hi, this is DarkFox127 and welcome to another Caranthir Tower live stream. Today I'm going to be doing a whole host of things. I've got quite a lot just hanging around. I've got great ideas. But first of all, I've got a few things to get set up. I've got a bit of good news. I've got some things to show. There's been quite a bit of progression over the past couple of days. So, the first thing I want to do is I have installed an EMB. The EMB that used to load up with the creation kit and cause all funky colours. I've put that one back, even though... Well, actually, no, the performance seems to be fine so far. I haven't had a proper test, but the performance seems to be okay. It's kind of weird. I don't know if it's the EMB or the game in general, but it's holding at about 50 FPS. It doesn't go to 60, which to me is fine. I can't really notice much difference. 50 FPS, relatively stable, is fine. So that is the... What do you call it? The just... Project EMB, I do believe, and people recommended that I take a look at. I can't believe it's not EMB, and I did, but it wasn't working. The sweet effects wasn't firing off. It was being really funny, and I was like, I'll just leave it. And I went with Project EMB because I really liked it. The colours were great. It just made it look amazing, and I needed an EMB now because I've done some new screenshots. So instead of rambling on, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort out my load order and put this to 720 for when we load the game, otherwise we're going to be a bit of a messy situation. So I'm going to copy my main setup and call this yeah, I'll call it test. So I'm going to have a test profile, close that, go to this test profile, and I'm going to go down disable load things. This is my load order. For those of you that have never seen it before, it's kind of crazy. I'm going to go down, turn a load of things off that I don't need while testing. Front place is alright, Immersive HUD's fine. Is it? No? No, I don't really need iHUD. That's fine. I'll leave iHUD. Load on time schemes. More HUD don't need. Race menu can stay on. Sky UI. A lot of the things at the top are probably going to stay on, because it's general user interface. I'll split this into categories. Unique region names, willow bugs. I'm going to want a lot of sort of visual effects and sounds to stay on as well. Things that I know are going to be fine and not really affect anything majorly. Enhanced EMB night eye. I think that's pretty new. So rugs, clients, thumbnail patches, go down. I'm probably going to start from the bottom and just start disabling all of these. So I think I've got to keep some major mods on, otherwise other things moan that they're not there. Civil War Overhaul can go on death. Just keep some major ones. See what we've got. I will keep on is a medium born. It's always nice. And cold might need to stay on. Needs and diseases. The main reason just to have a test profile is that when you load up your main system as a test all the time, you just COC, and it's like you'll get a load of mods trying to activate MCM menus, and you just got a load of stuff on the top left, and it just slows down for a while. So, merciful trees, whole banners, keep. There's a few of these I want to keep hold of. There's one like bridges and such, which look really nice with Caranthir Tower on that mountainside that I want to show. Torch radius. I think most of that's going to be fine. There's just that one that I just mentioned. I don't know where it's gone. It's like a bridges mod. Well, we've got an error here anyway. Missing masters, guard dialogue overhaul, and immersive creatures. Should be here somewhere. These need to stay on. Should get rid of those errors, and I'll try that as a test profile. And then if I go down, I'm just going to disable some others, which should be anything of my stuff. Just make sure Caranthir Tower's there, and we're good to go. Then I need to edit this, which I think I've shown before. Full screen we don't want. Hold on. It needs to be 720, 1280. Okay, and we'll try and load that shortly, so that's out of the way. And I'm going to go on about the sort of stuff that I've... Hello, everybody. I'm going to see if I can remember to mention things. There's one thing I want to change first, and that is that the load door on the exterior of the tower is the wrong kind of door. It's not a load door, in fact, that's the problem. When this opens, it opens up into the wall and it looks absolutely stupid, so I just need to switch this. There we go. Make sure that's lined up correctly. Size wise 2, due to the changes. That'll do for now at least. Whoops. Okay, so about the exterior. Sim in the chat was kind enough to help me out with collision, as was mentioned in a couple of the other streams, because I didn't know, well, had a rough idea of how to do collision. I was trying to follow some tutorials, but my 3D Max has been a pain, and the whole chunk merge thing for NIF scope was just not working for me for whatever reason. And Tamira also helped out, and they have finally made collision for this, so I don't have to have collision markers everywhere. The reason there's collision markers there is just to stop people from jumping over the barriers and killing themselves, which isn't part of the tower collision. But the tower now has collision, which is absolutely awesome. So, little trick just to show everyone is, if we can find the main structure. There we go. If you go in the preview window, if you want to see if collisions worked on something correctly, you can hit F4 and you should see like all these black lines, and as you can see, they're perfectly round. What was happening with me is this was offset by about 50%, so it was like there the collision was. Half of it had collision, the other half was completely wrong, lagged to hell, and probably ended up crashing the game. So, but it is now sorted, which is absolutely awesome, and I'll show that shortly. And what I had to do before is for like the balcony, I had to have another spacer put there just so you could stand on the balcony, but that all works fine now. Yep, that's the collision basically. I'm going to pop back inside, and I want to show what I've done to the dorms, because I found some awesome resources. Well, I was guided to some awesome resources by a friend, and I wasn't sure what to do with the beds in here. I had been having trouble with having beds with the correct bed covers, different coloured bed covers. I'd have to have the standard noble mesh. The noble mesh was, sorry, textures. The noble textures for the beds is horrible vanilla. Then I wanted to find one that was allowed to use as assets, or one that I didn't have to try and get permission off people that are no longer active on Nexus. So I was having trouble, didn't like any of them, and I was guided to a resource, a sort of castle resource, which Tamira has converted into Skyrim, and I came across these beds which I darkened the texture and did some bed covers for, and then added insanity pillows too, and they actually work really well. And those are the nice unique beds that I've now got for the dorms. Another thing I've been doing, and I sort of showed something on my Facebook yesterday, was I'm doing, well, I've already done actually. I've done new drapes, new rugs. What I've done is I've made, as you can see, the detail on the rugs a lot more white, because cream was looking horrible with the colours. White looks a bit more standard and it contrasts better. And if you zoom in, you might or might not be able to see because of how sort of poor quality the stream ends up being on Twitch. But the fabric's different. The fabric is something I've made myself. I don't know if I made it from Photoshop default stuff, or I just did something else I found, like free Photoshop resources. but it's a fabric that I've made different colours of. There's going to be other colour choices when I release them to the public to use as well. And if you zoom in, you can probably tell, you might be able to tell on a still image anyway, there's a lot more detail in them. They just look more authentic, at least I do. They look a little more detailed, not just like plain and horrible. I've got a fair bit of depth to the normal map I made, and they look quite nice. So happy with that. I've been going a little banner crazy again. I've decided that each person has their own double bed. Each person has their own wardrobe, as I was making at the end of the last video, and each person will have a banner to sort of represent them. So I made a nice little orcish banner there. I've made an alchemy banner for the alchemist. If we go around here, we've got like a sort of librarian banner. If I can control the camera again. There we go. And then we've got one for the Khajiit, which is cool. Now this is something I've got to sort of carry on today as well. Eleanor helped me make some sort of static versions of clothing which I can hang up in the wardrobe. So if we just open some of these wardrobes, in fact I'll show that in game, you'll see that each person's going to have their own outfit or set of outfits. Each person will have 3 outfits that they wear throughout the tower, and you'll be able to see them in the wardrobes. If I can manage it, I want to have it so that the clothing as they're wearing it isn't in the wardrobe, and then when they change clothes, the clothes actually switch in the wardrobe, so you'll see it sort of dynamically change. That would be really awesome if I can do it. I have set up the rug system. I've fixed the portals as well. So it's coming along quite nice now. And what I want to do is add one of these beds that can be changed, but for the actual mage quarters, because the bed in there is vanilla and it's horrible. I also want to dull down that light, that blue light, because when you add that to an EMB, it's overkill. So I might as well do that now. Double click, edit, and we want this a bit brighter. A little bit closer to white, that should be okay. I kind of changed that in the last stream back again, but that should be much better. Okay, just going to hit F5. Something I've noticed is the creation kit's actually updated properly now. This might crash. The creation kit has been updated properly now from that beta I was talking about, and I have noticed a change. I've noticed that whenever I'm dumping a lot of new meshes and textures in, you usually have to just reset the cell. It does its usual, like it's just done, and you'll see the meshes and textures. That still works, but every now and then, after you've done it a few times, creation kit wants to crash now. It seems a lot more prone to crashes, at least for me. I just wish they'd left it alone, honestly. I don't see a big advantage myself to the 100 meg limit. People are used to it now. They just upload to other websites, Nexus and such. I don't think it was something we needed to mess with the game for. Really wasn't, but at least they don't at the moment seem to have completely broken anything major. Best thing here is probably just to replace that. But yes, they've messed with it, and it's just annoying. Because I didn't need to. Didn't need to mess with anything. Okay, so what do I want here? I want the other version of this bed, so I've got to sort of hunt that down in this new resource I've got. Let's take a look. I did a new background here as well for this stream. I thought that was quite nice rather than the plain black. It's getting a bit boring. We have to find them. Should actually be in the data folder now. There's a lot of cool stuff. If I can figure it out. Remember where it is. Interior. Should be here somewhere. Somewhere. There are some beds. And I'll need to put my own textures on. But I can never for the life of me find them. Come on, I know it's in here. They're always sat right in my face, I can't. Here somewhere? See, I'd use this search, but I bet it doesn't work. Doesn't usually. utterly useless. If I remember correctly, they're not actually called beds per se. Stable kitchens, well, not going to be in there, are they? What are these? It's different. Let's have a look. Where are we? Oh, this is frustrating. What is that? There are some beds here under this section, but I cannot find them. Pretty sure I didn't delete them. I've made separate copies of them. I'm probably staring right at them. They're a weird name. There it is. So that's kind of the original, and then I've edited that. I took these things off because I didn't want those. Now just darken that texture and swap that cover out. What I want to do here is have a... no, I was thinking of how to do this. I can do this one of two ways. I can have it so that the whole mesh is just copies of, or I can just have a standard mesh. Yeah, I think I know I'm going to do it. I've done that wrong now. I'm going to reopen that. In fact, I don't need it for that. I need this one. This is going to be like the master bedroom one. Oh, that's... it's actually a whole part on top. Okay. Well, I'll put my texture on there then. To mirror wood, I'll change that to mine. I'll just check the chat because I haven't checked it. If you want to ask any questions specifically about anything, you'll have to go through my website's contact form and I'll see if I can get in touch in the next few days about anything like that. Yeah, banner obsessed. But yep, we need this texture now. In fact, I'll leave that there for a minute. Should be materials. Nope. Furniture, beds, wood. There we go. That's nicer. And then there's like a trim to it as well, which I made a unique one. Just usually it's like the games that I own. But I took that and made that darker because I wanted everything a bit nice. That's nice. Okay, then we'll save that as something else. CT. I've sort of gone through and organised all the folders and files as well. So I've got a collection of stuff that's going to be Caranthir Tower only, and then a selection of stuff that I will actually eventually release as a resource into my resource pack. So I want this in furniture, beds, CT, bed, double, 01. Yeah, we just put frame. I thought it'd be the whole bed again like they've done with the vanilla, but it isn't. It's like a frame which is different. So that should be saved as the frame. Then if I double click on this, and then I just want to get rid of that part. And leave this. This is weird. Notice I don't tend to need that. So just leave it at that really. That can be bed 02 then. That's where that naming system can come in. No, I'm going here. I'm in the wrong one. There we go. Bed 02, just noticed I've got to take that off. And I've got to change the textures, haven't I? Don't know why it keeps going back to the meshes folder. It's just trying to confuse me. Ah, wrong one. Trim. Dark wood. I also use this dark wood texture that I just did to do the drapes, the pole for the drapes and such, and I might do the same with the wardrobes actually. See if that goes on quite nice. So I want to save that as bed 2. Am I alright? I might be a bit quiet and croaky. I don't know why. It's a long weekend, I think. Okay. What I need now then is for this to be... Just trying to think how this works now. That's kind of weird. Okay, let's just put the frame in. See how this frame sort of clips on. Furniture... Oh, I'm in the wrong one again. CT furniture, beds, frame. That should just sort of click on. Don't know if that goes on. CT underscore static bed 01 frame, just to be confusing, and then we'll go frame. Right, now this is where I think the creation kit's probably going to crash and cause us all sorts of issues now. Wouldn't surprise me. Nope. Just going to make me look like a prat instead. Okay. So I've got to make sure that's snapped to the grid in some way, and then this should snap on. Which way to put this though? That way I suppose. Okay. What? Does that just clip over the top then? Ah. I imagine so. I'm not entirely sure. I think that's it, and it's designed in such a way that it doesn't, you get that little bit of flicker if something's overlapping something, but that seems to be fine to me. So that's okay. And then what we can do is replace that with a static sort of, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I know what I should have done, but it'd be a bit tricky to do, so I'll just do it the way I'm going to do it anyway. Let's just go with static bed 01, or just put it 02, and we'll get that part of the bed. Create a new version. CT static bed 01, 2 even. Those both the same, pretty much. Okay. When you hide that, you've just got that. That'll then be replaced with like just the cover. So we want this to pretty much be a cover. And I bet I've gone and closed that now, haven't I? Easiest way. Beds 02, wrong one. Let's just go 01 then. And remove these parts off. And the trim. and I can have these as just different colours. So bed double 01, what do you call it? Let's just put covers, probably sounds better. So it's 01 covers. That's what I'm going to use. In fact, there's something else I wanted to check. Something I want to remove off of the other ones, which is, let's have a look. Where are we going? Where are we going? Furniture, beds. So the covers, then you've got that. Furniture markers can actually go off of these if that doesn't cause it to crash or anything. Collision nodes, such and such. Okay. Frame, shouldn't be a problem. Double 2. Get rid of the furniture markers on that. I don't know why I want to do it this way. I want like a clip together sort of thing. It just makes more sense. Oh, sorry, I read it wrong. I thought it was sort of like, you know, you're right. I know I sound a bit croaky today. That's all. Or a little out of it. Okay. I like that this has an actual roof piece on, because the vanilla ones are crap. They look awful. They don't have anything on. So what we can do here is we will clip this now. We will have furniture pieces. CT underscore F for the beds. Double click on one of these. I'm going to call this bed 02 underscore, well yeah, we'll leave it as black. Then we'll just select the covers and put an overlay of white fabric, new one. There we go. Very nice. It's black, is it? It's meant to be the black fabric. What a knob. Right, black. There we go. That's what I want. Right then. And click OK there. That should be fine. Then you can just swap those out instead. I think the reason I was doing this is it's just like the NIF should be slightly smaller. There shouldn't be as much crap being loaded in, even though it's a small amount. Bed double black, then we can click OK, create new, and drag and drop that in. There we go, that should just clip together nice. Wonderful. Okay. And then should be able to just sleep on that. Not a problem. What I want to do though is I'm going to go in game and show people everything, hopefully working quite well, what the tower looks like, or the collision and all that. And we're going to test that bed. We're going to make sure that this thing works, because what I'm worried about is the collision off this bottom piece is actually going to be just maybe by chance slightly covering this and making the activator thing a bit difficult. In which case we could just rise it up like that, which I think I'll do anyway. Plus it's not touching the floor as badly. So I'll just rise that up by 2. That way the collision won't be off by too much either. So yeah, make sure it's saved. And what I'm going to do is you'll notice that the EMB is not loaded in the creation kit. I don't want that because it slows it down. It makes things weird. So what I've done instead is I'll minimize that. And then I drop just the 3 main files for the EMB. I drop them back into my Skyrim folder. So all the other EMB stuff's there, but it's utterly useless without these 3 files. It's literally a way of deactivating it. And then I'll pull those back out afterwards. So we shall load up the game. And we will take a look around. Hopefully it loads okay. Let's just make sure Mod Organizer is going to load the right one as well. And we should be good to go. See if this loads. Yay, there we go. Now we're going to hope it doesn't crash. So let me think. I am not much point jumping in as a test because I have a save file for a few reasons. I don't want to give a couple of things away, so I've sort of hidden them away. And then load that one. Hopefully this won't crash. I might have to do a test one actually. Okay. Come on, don't fail me. So that's weird. Actually, looking at it on the stream, it's running fine. But on mine, it's actually sat there as if it's froze. It should load any second. Come on. I'll give it a little longer. If not, I'll just... I think it's trying to adjust to the changes because I've saved this with a load of mods and it probably doesn't like it. So... Oh, there we go. Okay, everything's good. I'll resave that now then. There we go. So, yep. Alchemy Lab, don't know if that's changed much. I've got these rugs here. I don't think I've set those up at all because there isn't even a rug in here yet. But if you look at the drapes here, you can see that they seem to have a little more detail in them. They're quite nice. So I've redone the drapes. If we hang those up to the red ones, you can kind of see the red quite nicely. I've got to redo some of the thin banners now as well, see if I can get them to look a bit closer, a bit darker. But those look a lot nicer. And I just want to show you what I've done with the white ones and see if people approve of that. So if we can just change those over. I've made it sort of like black tassels with the white because it was too much white otherwise. And if we can manage to see, that might be a bit shiny, that wood. I might have to change that. We need some light. Okay, you can't really see very well, but basically rather than it being completely... Ah, there we go. You can see there, you can see that it's actually nice wood now rather than this just horridness. So that's fine. The portals look really awesome as well, especially with the EMB, and those are all activated, all working now. I'll show you those work. You can see there, I'm not going to test one just yet in case it decides to crash. Just being a bit picky at the moment. Somebody mentioned that I take away like the broken sword on the image for this banner, and I did that, and I tried to get the brown a bit closer to the brown of the other thing. I think that turned out quite okay. Let's head up. Oops, excuse me, head up here. Mannequin wheel. These things I like. This is why I like this EMB. It really makes these look awesome. Once per day, actually. Oh, I've probably activated one. Hold on, see if this one will work. That's better. Makes this look really awesome, the EMB, so I like this. Okay, so we take that to the desk and see if this works. Sleep on bed, that's fine. Shouldn't really be a problem. Nice. So the bed works. We've got collision, I think. Yes. Just need to move it over a bit. More close to the wall. And the bed will be fine. Then we can sort of set up a system for that. Now this portal hasn't been activated, I don't... Oh, it does work. Okay, I haven't set that up fully yet, so you can ignore that. And we'll see if we can take a step outside and check the collision. Hopefully this doesn't happen. Sometimes it does. Uh-oh. Being weird on mine again. Yeah, I can see it on the stream and it looks fine. We've got a dragon. It's just black screen on mine. Should load though. There we So you can see across a lot of Skyrim, and even though like my drawing distance and detailed mods are a bit funky at the moment, you can kind of tell. A couple of things flicker, but that's really cool. Can't imagine what that would look like on someone with like a beast rig. But as you can see, I'm standing fine without that extra sort of spacer there. And we can actually hit parts of the tower, which is awesome. See, the pillars are right, the whole thing's perfect. And we've even kept, well, yeah, I've kept the, has that got brighter since I've got it? Managed to keep the whole window colour changing too. So let's have a look what it's like at night. Zoom this out. Is that the College of Winterhold? That is amazing. It actually looks kind of puny in comparison when you're up here. Anyway, let's wait around a while. And that's the tower at night. I put some lights on the outside so it really brightens up, so you're not just relying on the emittance of the windows. But that works absolutely perfectly. Looks really nice with the EMB. There we go. Now the portal at the bottom, I know that doesn't quite work right yet. A couple of issues with the entrance portal, so I've got to sort that out. And this should now be much better. There we go. That sort of completely opened like a normal door, and it looked completely stupid. So that's fine. It's time to load. Was there anything else I was going to check? I don't even know. I'm going to take a look at the dorms, weren't we? With the wardrobes and stuff, so see what the lighting's like. If it ever loads to go back inside. There we go. Check these portals out. So apparently we haven't been to the dorms yet. Now of course you will actually be able to get there properly when the main lifts are working. That's how you discover most places. In fact, the dorms need to be accessible from the off, because there isn't a lift to these. Grand Soul Gem. Oh, we need more Soul Gems. Really? Never mind. Let's just ignore that. That will work and activate though, we just don't have a soul gem. So I thought I'd spruce things up, have a few chests open, a few chests closed. These are actually static, you can't use them. If we open the wardrobe, you've got these static clothing items here. So he's got his orc armour there. And his blacksmith clothing. You're meant to pretend that's not an issue. I might try and edit the NIF and put some gloves there so it doesn't look silly. And you've got sort of his chill clothing, as I like to call them. So we've got the banner there and we've got the beds. And you can't... In fact, you shouldn't be able to use the beds. Those should be owned. I think that's a mod interfering with that. See how it's going like wobbly? It's trying to use the marker. It's like one of those immersive sleep mods, I think. But you can ignore that. So the rugs, we can actually change the rugs now. So they appear. And disappear. They look a lot nicer than the old. And I've actually done single NIFs. So the way a lot of these rugs work is, you might have noticed that rug type C for the castle rugs, you've got free versions which are like that basically, and then the others are split up into sections. So you've got middle, the right end and the left hand end. Well, I've pieced them together so you've actually got just one NIF for it. But I've got to look into collision, surprisingly. I was trying to fiddle it by copying collision of another rug, but it didn't work for some reason, because you actually have got collision, and collision doesn't just do sort of bumping into, it also does sound effects. So when you walk on the rug, it needs to sound like a rug. And at the moment, these will only work in the middle. The edges don't have collision yet, which is funky. At least I don't think they do. Not sure. But anyway, that's cool. Rugs are sorted. There won't be any drapes in here because it's going to be mostly sort of personalisation banners and stuff for the people that live here. Not all the wardrobes are full up yet with everything that they need. We've got some wardrobe here for the alchemy. That's done as well. That's like save your armor for there. And it's even used the custom textures off of a medium born, which is awesome. So compatible with that. Then you got stuff that you can take. Got a whole collection of shoes, boots and everything. Bed there. Potions. Got to set these two up. And I've got the shrines to do as well. So you can see like it changes depending on the time of day. Let's see if this brightens up now. Yep. Very nice. And the pool gets brighter as well. I've got to do this so it also takes off clothes and such, and then maybe puts a robe back on, or the clothes that you had before back on, hopefully. So that's pretty much that. Like I say, this needs sorting out now, adding more to. And the big thing that I actually forgot to mention, you'll notice that this was like a platform that led out. I've replaced that with a fireplace because I couldn't get a good looking part for the exterior, and I hated the idea of bodging the kitchen on the end. So the kitchen's actually going to be on this side where everyone's going to eat as well, with a big table and everything. So you'll have the pool, you'll have the sleeping section, and then the other side will be like the kitchen area, and then you've got the relaxation. You'll have this like built up into a cool, nice seating area. So that's the plans for the dorms that have got to be done, and let's just see if we can see these portals in action. And please excuse any noise from the absolute moron upstairs, who is going to get a very severe slap in the face if he carries on.
Yes?
Yep. So I got my librarian. I need to do some actors as well, actually. Before I can carry on with the outfits, I need to choose what they're going to wear. So yeah, the library's got a bit of a lighting thing going on at the moment, which I've got to figure out. It's like too dark or too bright. It's strange. I think it's the emittance thing I put on. But as you can see, the active portals look really cool. So let's go alchemy. Okay, maybe they are broken. I'm gonna have to check this over. I thought I'd fix them. That one's stuck. I swear the other ones were. It's just references, properties and such. And masks. Okay, so we'll come out of the game now anyway, and we'll go back in the kit. You can see a lot of the changes that have been made. And we got a lot of chat to catch up on. Chat to catch up on. No, chat to catch up on. There we go. Yeah, collision again. I might be throwing some measures your way. It won't be like a huge tower this time, though, if you want to do any. Yeah, I did in Mershgum Estate that I did with Eleonora. We had a system where the clothes change throughout the day. So the cook will have cook clothes on, but then when she goes to bed, she'll have something else on. When she goes out of the house to hang out in the inn or something, she'll have other clothes on. But I've got to look into that, because an issue with that tend to be that for some reason that the clothes didn't change over properly, and sometimes they'd show up completely naked, which is not good. So I've got to hope that that kind of thing doesn't happen with this system, but it's going to be a little different, hopefully. So if I can manage it, I'll do it, but if not, it's going to have a lot of the same problems. I'll probably leave it out, but it would be a nice touch. Be more immersive, and it's the whole idea of pushing the boundaries of what you can do in the game. But yeah, that looks really nice. That's much better now. That really suits the whole style of the mage quarters. And I have no idea why the Why the library portal's broken. I decided to get rid of the light in here as well, so hopefully I can add that light into the lift section here, and that will brighten up a little, rather than it being this dark, dismal zone you end up wandering into. I didn't see anything wrong with the alchemy light. That seemed to be okay. So, hopefully, that's not too shabby. Now, what is it I was going to do? I've got actors to do. Dorms to do. But to do the dorms, like I say, I've got to do the clothing. I've got an alchemist lady to do. And the Khajiit will be for, like, in the lobby, conjuration and stuff. He'll be practicing his own conjuration and things like that. Let's make a new actor. In fact, something I didn't do. Just delete these files. Because if the creation kit crashes and I go to load it back up, we'll have the EMB in here, and I don't want that. I did have a set of names, didn't I? Let's take a look. Wow, it's empty. That's interesting. That, what? Never mind. Durdin was going to be a wood elf. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, Durdin was the librarian, but I've changed that now, haven't I? I've called him Arkvon. He's like a high elf. So we've got Jothan's going to be the Khajiit. So Dar Arkvon. Okay, so I don't actually have a name for the alchemist lady. So I'll start designing her, and if everybody wants to throw out some names, I'll see if there's anything I like. This is the chance for the chat to have an info. Yeah. Right, so people want to throw names. What do you think the alchemist lady should be called? For now, I'll just put the CG actor part in and leave the name. Essential, unique. Excuse me. I was thinking of another high elf, but dark elf usually seems to be quite cool for sort of the alchemist lady. Or a Breton. We've got to have a Breton, haven't we, really? It's a magical tower. So, let's go with Breton. Breton race preview. Gonna need to be female. So, let's give her some clothes. And the clothing was going to be Farm 2, I think. That can be default. Farm clothes outfit 2. Just got to find the right colour. This is different. It's kind of like that, I think. Pretty sure. I'll show the meshes. Let's take a look. CT. Ah, they're not in CT because these are something that I'm planning on having as a resource. Farm 2. It's like those clothing. Very brown. Might actually be 2 then. Yeah, that'll be them. Right. Let's go back to traits for a moment. Yeah, everybody sort of pick a name for the alchemy lady. Everyone throw in suggestions. If not, I'm just going to use a generator anyway. So there's a Tamriel rebuild generator. It's pretty good. This is just being slow. Tell me a rebuild name generator. And then you can say race and gender and generate. Here we go. See, I can't remember what I called them before, but it'd be nice to just have mostly fresh names now anyway. I'll leave that for a moment. Okay, voice type can be just go with female commoner for now. I actually need to make sure. I mean, these are going to also sell things which I haven't set up just yet, I don't think. But if they are going to sell things, I need to check the voice types to make sure that this voice type's available for that specific kind of gender. Vendor even, not gender. And you do that under miscellaneous and form lists. Now let me think. Voiced vendors. Now that's like a list of all the voices that actually sell items, but if you want them to specifically have dialogue for alchemy, like you're here to buy a potion or such and such, there are ways of finding the specific voice types. So you've got like follower voices, you can check which ones you can use for that. Whoops. It's here somewhere. Voices apothecary. So all these voices can sell you alchemy stuff. Majoritively female anyway, so I just happen to have picked one that won't work. So I need to pick one that's in that list, so I'll go with female even toned. And that will then work with the dialogues. A little trick there. And disposition, even though it doesn't do anything. There we go. Stats. Level 25 should do. Auto calculate. Trainer, alchemy master. And what I'm also going to be doing is looking at doing the trainer dialogue if I can, but make sure it doesn't break any game dialogue. I've got to research that. But if I do go ahead with them being trainers as well, they're going to need to be in the trainer class for their certain thing, or they probably won't provide the training. So that's pretty important. Factions, not there's only one faction really, isn't there, at the moment? Just the tower faction that I add them to, but I'm not going to worry about that just yet. Can't remember what I've called it. Faction main, there we go. Got to be in that faction. Relationships I'm not going to bother with just yet. Keywords, AI data, unaggressive, happy. I can't read that yet. Actually going to copy this into Notepad so I can read it. Yeah, I'll pick a name later on. I think I'll have a good think. Let's just put alchemist. That might be a good way of just sort of for now. Just put A in there so that we can at least activate the character, get the prompt on. AI data happy, average cautious cowardly. Cautious should be fine. Energy, how much they're going to go around and do things. Well, she's got to be pretty energetic, so 75, she's going to be up and about doing all sorts. Helps friends and allies, no crime, don't need to worry about combat style or anything like that. Although I was wondering whether to have these as potential followers, so they had a reason to use armour. So they had a logical reason for having armour in their wardrobe, so have any of the 4 major recruits followers, potential followers, meaning that the orc guy would actually wear his orc armour when he's following you. So that's their 3 outfits then. It's like their follower outfit, their just relaxing outfit, and their work outfit. That was the idea. Packages I'm not going to bother with just yet. They can't actually navigate the tower anyway, so just done there stuck most of the time. Inventory I'm not going to go into too much detail, same with spells. And just going to confirm and save. Alrighty then. Oh, there we go. Face complexion. Oh god, no. Keep that normal. And let's have a look. Light blonde. That should be fine. Thinking of going with green, that'll go with the whole alchemy thing. I'd have thought you'd have something that's maybe in a ponytail. You know, health and safety and such. Or at least tied up in some way. That's alright. Facial, I don't know why I'm going to select facial hair. Oh dear. Looks friendly. I'll probably adjust this in a lot more detail later on. I've got to be careful here. There's one for like freckles and stuff, and then once you put it on, you don't seem to be able to get the damn thing off. So, where is it? Flipping heck. No, that's a bit much. Let's go with standard for now. And look. War paints we don't really need. Oh, it's a bit overkill. That might do. I'm probably not going to bother with dirt actually, because that's not something that you can change when she's out and about. Because obviously when she's in bed and when she's chilling wherever she goes to chill, she doesn't really want to be just covered in dirt all the while, so it'd be a bit tacky otherwise. Loot. She looks a bit drunk there. Damn. Do not want them eyes. $15 seems okay. Spend too much time sort of thing. There we go, that should do fine. Click OK. Now I'm not going to export the face data just yet, because if I end up changing the name it might end up changing the whole idea of the face data and I'll have to just do it again anyway, so I will leave that for the time being. Just realised that it looks like eyes, and nose and a mouth. That's weird. Anyway, yep, alchemy should be fine. I'll dump her into there and then set the ownership. Right. Now then, what else? What else? Not sure what more I need to do to the alchemy quarters now. I think we put those weapon racks in, yep. That's cool. Then we got these rugs here. Those would need set into a whole rug setup system. Not something I'm going to bore you with, because that just takes a long time to do. Drapes should automatically be fine. They should be updated to the new fabric materials and such. Wardrobe there's going to need stuff in. I've got to decide how to do that. And I've got a bit more cluttering. It's a lot more space. I think these are a bit thinner than the average beds. Certainly seem like it. Yeah, they are a little. So we've got more room on the sides, which is probably going to work out okay. Just looks a bit, I don't know, that's fine. There you go. Clears up a bit of that space there. I want this to be a painting of the exterior, but I had to wait until the exterior is done first. So I'm going to see if I can take a screenshot and turn it into a painting like sort of thing. And I've got to get a good screenshot, probably one with the tower in the middle, very similar to that mountain shape actually. So it'll just be like tower in the center, get a good angle on it, and then see if I can sort of do a weird conversion thing and make it look like a painting. That would be really awesome, and that's something that you can put on. So this, we need to have a